say that's their down payment. It's not. You can. It's okay. You can. Those people were helping realtors to commit crimes and then turned on them when the time came. So the answer is you have more than a fiduciary duty. A fiduciary duty is a civil obligation. You have a criminal obligation to not lie to lenders. I am told that my time is up.
I think you need to answer, if you will.
If
you will,
happy to be here.
There's some questions about the SSA.
Anybody have a question on that?
I think that's worthwhile.
I received 7 offers on a short sale yesterday.
You had received what?
I received 7 offers on a short sale listing I had yesterday.
Great.
So you just pretty much covered everything. But having said that, 3 of them did not have a date in there.
Right.
What would you...
So everybody look at this on the back page of this package. It says, this in paragraph A, short sale approval, this agreement is contingent upon seller's receipt of written consent from all existing secured lenders and lien holders no later than 5 p.m. on date. Okay? What you can do if you are a buyer is you can fill in a date that's like right now, like 48 hours from now. And then, when that's over, you no longer have a live offer out there, so you can go and you can make another offer on another property on behalf of your buyer and do a short fuse on that. In this way, you can represent a potential buyer on a short sale, and you can make offers on 32 properties, as long as you don't have a live offer on more than one at once. The reason you don't want a live offer on more than one at once is because if an offer gets accepted and you say, oh no, I'm already buying this one over here, now what you've done is you breached the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing that you have with that seller. Now the seller has the opportunity to say to you, you are the reason I am not successfully having a short sale. I need you to pay me damages and the realtor along with you. So you don't want to have more than one live offer out at once. Now, what you might need to do for a particular lender is have a date in there that lasts long enough that the seller can take it to the lender and get it approved, and the lender might require that date be longer, in which case you have a choice. If you fill out a date that says, it's 60 days or 90 days later, you can't have your buyer make offers on another property in the meantime. You stop, or you decide not to make that offer. What we are finding is that most of the lenders don't care. Most of the lenders don't care if the offer is expired as long as they get an offer in their hands, because they understand the nature of they're beginning to understand the nature of the market. If you represent a seller and you get an offer like this, it's fine to have a very short date in that, because then you can continue to leave the property on the active listings instead of having to put it in pending. If you accept an offer, that has a 48-hour period put in here, so what's today, Wednesday, so you have it expire Friday, then you don't have to report it pending to your MLS, because you don't have to do that within 48 hours. What's the limit? 72 hours. 72 hours?
48 now.
48, 72. It's fine. You can leave it inactive, which means you can leave it on as active status, which means when this expires, you're still marketing, and you can get offers just like that you can accept, subject to the SSA, subject to the lender's approval. You could collect 32 offers that way, as long as you don't enter into more than one at a time. So you accept this, it expires, you're still active, accept another one. Wait for it to expire, accept another one. You now have 32 people, so when the lender finally says, sure, we'll do it for, what was your price? $550? $495. The lender says, fine, we'll take $495. You as the listing agent have 32 different buyers you can call, and maybe one of them will actually close a deal with you. It maximizes your chances of success.
Okay, so you have a date on there, and you're within that date. Now, you're buying
within the date.
You're representing the buyer, so it's a legitimate contract.
Yep.
The buyer has all sorts of contingencies. None of those contingencies are continuing to run. We have not started doing any inspections or due diligence. So what's the rights to say, I want to rescind my offer? The lender has not accepted it. I can do this based on, I drove the neighborhood, I heard there's a sexual predator down the block. I determined that after more evaluation, the property is now worth what I made my offer for. Any of those or above are reasons within the base contract that I can cancel the transaction and get my deposit back.
You're very correct, and you would win when the seller comes back and says, I want you to perform, and you say, well, I drove the neighborhood, I didn't pass my physical inspection. When the seller sues your client and you litigate with them for a while, you will eventually win. That's not wearing a seatbelt. I'm talking about wearing a seatbelt. What I'm suggesting is there's no advantage in having your buyer have a long period and have a bunch of live contracts. You just maximize the chances of a problem. But you're correct that the buyer has legitimate outs. The problem will be when it turns out that that buyer has 6 live contracts and they had all of them at once and had no ability to close on 6, or for that matter 2. That will cause the trier of fact to say, you know, I wonder if they're sincere in their statement about having driven the neighborhood, or maybe they're just saying that to get out of the contract. And that's the problem. And if you advise your clients as buyers, by the way, in short sales, in normal contracts, if you advise your buyers, this is a free 17-day look, that's not correct advice. It's not a free 17-day look. They have contingencies that they can get out on if legitimately and in good faith they intend to be out. Now, I can hear people thinking, yeah, but how are they going to prove it? And that's true. But if you say to your client, the buyer, you have a free look for 17 days, you can always say it didn't pass inspection, your client will quote you and sink you with it. So you have to speak the language correctly to your client. The only reason we're in this contract is because you have a good faith intent to buy it. Rest assured, if it doesn't meet your standards from a physical inspection point of view, you don't have to buy it, and you'll get your money back. But you can't.
So I think that's good. So you have to play it straight. Is the point.
That's the point.
You got to play it straight. You can't be super cagey. You know, I mean, he's talking about following the law. You've got to be ethical. So you just can't be any other way. So I think
I agree completely.